General process of recording any executed activity within the manufacturing world needs proof of execution. Therefore, there are many documents that are created for traceability for any and all events happening prior, during, and after the manufacturing required by FDA. There are many documents and logs that are part of day-to-day responsibilities of a manufacturing technician. Good document practices are a systematic way of how to fill the information in various documents, and how this information is corrected in a legible manner for its proper traceability, originality, and accuracy. As we all know, writing down things or writing somewhere in your journal is type of an evidence of what you thought or executed in simple words. Keeping same principle in mind, documentation is created to record or create evidence of what happened during every step of manufacturing. GDP is a set of guidelines that pharmaceutical industry must follow. It is a very effective way to avoid mistakes and create a clear traceability of what happened at every step. GDP is applicable for all industries, not just those that manufacture regulated products such as drugs, medical devices, biologics, cosmetic, food products. Documentation is an essential part of the quality system as it protects patient safety, ensures product quality, and provides evidence of data integrity. Please remember the word data integrity. We will go over this soon as a part of good documentation practices. GMP documentation generally falls under two broad categories: documents and records. Records confirm that activities were carried out correctly and as per set procedures defined within a company. For example, everyone fills entry and exit log into the clean room to keep track of how many people a day entered, how many people were in the clean room at any given time, who exited at what time. What are instructional documents? Generally, in this industry there are standard operating procedures and work instructions to tell each and every employee how to execute a job duty. For example, there are work instructions on how to clean a room where drug needs to be formulated. The cleaning work instructions would state multiple directives such as which chemical needs to be used and where to get it. Who is responsible for cleaning, what should be done after the cleaning. In essence, anyone working in pharmaceuticals, biotech, and medical device field must execute job responsibilities exactly as written in these documents. Further, we will discuss the type of these documents and how to fill them properly. Instructional documents define what must be done to manufacture safe and effective products that are in full compliance with GMP requirements. Instructional documents specify the quality standards of materials and of the product ready to be released in market. These instructional documents also provide the information to ensure that all GMP-related activities are performed correctly, consistently, and to the standards required. To understand effective GDP, let's go over ALCOA principle. A stand for attributable. It refers to attribution of any activity that was executed with the help of equipment, chemicals, etc. Moreover, source of data collected and the date and time of data. This relevant information creates proper traceability. For an example, if your job was to weigh a certain chemical and store it in a fridge. To make this activity attributable, equipment number of the weighing balance, chemical's name and product number, equipment number of the fridge, storage temperature, time and date of execution, last but not least who performed the activity and who verified it, their signature and initials makes the activity attributable. L stands for legible. Making sure data is legible is about more than being able to clearly read the data, using consistent, straightforward language on manually collected data within production activities. This data must be easily and clearly readable, and if any correction is done, corrected entry should be clearly readable and crossed in a manner where what was collected is also clearly readable. We will see those entries and practice them in upcoming classes. C stands for contemporaneous. This word means the data is recorded in real time, not backfilled or not recorded in future after the activity. For an example, if I ask you to make a cup of tea and instructions are to add to 2 sugars 1 tea bag 2 spoons of milk. If exact quantities in real time are not recorded, or if a technician fails to record it in the real time and later says I did not record when I was making the tea, but since I remember how I made the tea. Now I can go back to the document and fill those entries. The main aim is to avoid the practice of creating or updating data at some point in the future. When data is recorded after an event or action, mistakes can happen, i.e., elements can be forgotten, parts can be left out, and information can be recorded inaccurately. O stand for original, just as the term suggests. For an example, if you used a weighing balance, the printout of the actual weight is the raw data or metadata, which is original. The printout from the weigh balance is original from the source in real time. This is a classic example of original. Any analysis, reports, or calculations based on data collected, generated, or updated should be traceable back to the original source. The metadata from the weighing balance has weigh balance number for identification and time of execution. Moreover, initials of the person who attached this metadata to the record is considered original. A stand for accurate, all records should reflect the reality of what happened and should be error-free. Also, there should be no editing of the original information that results in that information being lost. This mostly applies to metadata and raw data when you are making corrections on the entries. Corrected entry and original information should not be lost. We will go in depth with examples in upcoming classes. Alcoa principles are backbone of GDP and data integrity. Only permanent ink, indelible ink allowed, which cannot be erased by ink remover. All the activities should be verified with second person as a verifier as a witness. This is also called dual control. All the raw data or metadata should be reviewed and signed within real time. In other words, if you mix 2 spoons of sugar in a glass of water, the quantity added should be recorded in real time, either supported with raw data or verified by another person under dual control. You must remember some of the GDP rules for better execution of manufacturing technician duties. For example, whenever you make a wrong entry, in order to correct it, strike a single line right in the middle of corrected entry as shown in the screen. The aim to clearly read what was corrected and the new accurate entry must be clear. Any empty pages, columns, rows, within a page must be NA'd with initials of the person and date. Purpose of this practice to protect data integrity. Once empty pages and spaces are NA'd, it is not possible to add anything on them in the future. Date and time should be written in the correct format. Most companies use Army time and it is directed in GDP procedure of each and every company. Date and time must be according to the procedure defined by the company. In upcoming classes, we will go over GDP rules and exercise these practices. Every standard operating procedure and work instructions documents have unique document number. For an example, GDP SOP could be GDP 101. Cleaning SOP could have a prefix code and a number such as CLN, a code for cleaning and a number given, so the cleaning SOP has an identifier as CLN 101. When anybody start working for a company in this industry, new employee signatures must be recorded as record of signature, and same signature and initials are used across the board on all documentation. Never use symbols, for example, ditto marks or arrows, to indicate repetitive and consecutive entries. No signature pads, scanned signatures or duplicate original signatures shall be used to replicate a handwritten signature by the person signing. The signature must be in real time at the execution of any and all activities performed by a person. Never do whiteout and cover over tapes, never obliterate information or record. Never use pencil, felt tip markers, or erasable pen. This completes an overview and core principles of GDP. Please memorize these core principles, as these practices should be a concrete part of your manufacturing technician profile and will come handy when executing on the job responsibilities. Thank you for being with us today and learning. We will see you in next class.